So my loved one was a victim. My loved one will never be the same. Just one high can cause brain damage.
A half a serving of this product is equal to an 80% proof vodka bottle. I don't know if I should have gloves holding this. I mean, this is bad stuff, and it's being sold to our kids. Something seldom mentioned in the connection between the products, sex trafficking and human trafficking. They were given suckers that was laced with this THC and these Delta 8, 9 products.
Ah, boy, oh boy, oh boy. So the fearmongers and the reefer madness boomers, they're at it again. And it's not all of the boomers, just those ones that hate the good herb and probably have never tried it before. But what you guys heard was only the tip of the iceberg, as Alabama is about to go crazy with a new bill that's leaving the future of the herb looking pretty bleak.
Tonight there is controversy over a bill regulating hemp products in the state of Alabama. Advocates say the regulations are long overdue while business owners disagree. State Capitol reporter Ryan Hall has the story from Montgomery.
Representative Andy Witt says hemp gummies and snacks can be found at some convenience stores across the state. His bill cracking down on the hemp industry passed the House and Senate and now awaits the governor's signature. Some business owners say they are bracing for impact.
Nachos, THC flavored nachos. I mean, it's just unreal what I've seen that's out there in the product.
Hemp products might come in different forms, but Representative Andy Witt says they need to be regulated. His bill bans the purchase of hemp in any form for people under 21. Witt says he's found these products at convenience stores in the state of Alabama.
Do you think that students in our high schools are going around and reading the back of those packages and saying, oh, I'm sorry, a dose of this is 1/16 of this gummy? That's not happening.
So once again, the gas stations and the convenience stores are caught in the crossfire. And guess what? The kids are once again being cited as the reasons. You guys heard it for yourself. Now in Alabama, this bill has actually passed the House, and as of a few days ago, it was before the governor's desk for signature.
Right now, a bill regulating the hemp industry in the state is on its way to Governor Ivey's desk.
House Bill 445 would require any products containing hemp or THC to be licensed and regulated through the Alcohol Beverage Control Board. Now, this affects everything from gummies to oils and other CBD products on the market.
Well, guys, this legislation will make it illegal to purchase different CBD and THC products at places like gas stations and convenience stores. The lawmaker I spoke to really wants to crack down on children using them.
It was time for Alabama to take control of this, again, put guardrails up on these dangerous products.
State lawmakers have officially passed House Bill 445, which regulates hemp products. I spoke with the bill's sponsor, Representative Andy Witt, who says the industry is unchecked.
In 2023, 40% of the calls to poison control in Alabama were children under the age of 16. And of 470 calls last year, around 20% ended up being in the ICU.
HB 445 will require the business to now be licensed by the ABC board. The business can only sell to people 21 and older, and the product will only be allowed to have 10 milligrams of hemp.
Also outlawed within this bill are the smokables, the inhalables, such as your vapes that had THC, your buds, your flowers.
It's not 90+% of our business, is flour, concentrates, disposables, vapes.
Joe Risha is the CEO of Avondale Apothecary in Birmingham.
I feel that it will destroy the hemp industry here in Alabama.
If Governor Ivey signs HB 445, his business will have to pivot to a new business model.
The only thing we'll be able to sell will be 10 milligram drinks, 10 milligram edibles that are individually packaged. Everything will have to be to go. There'll be no more on-site consumption. There'll be no more deliveries. There's no more e-commerce. We put our heart and souls into building this safe place for our community here, to get people off the black market where they are able to get, tested products. They know exactly what they're getting when they come here versus going on the black market.
So as you guys can see, Alabama's lawmakers are coming in hard and they're firing on all cylinders. Now what I found pretty ironic about this whole thing is that they're trying to get this out of the hands of kids, or so they say, but what they're going to do is just push a lot more people to the black market, which is a lot more unsafe and unregulated, but also untested. Now we're going to hear what a few businesses have to say about this whole thing, but you guys may have heard him say previously in that clip, the ABC board will be in control of the good herb under this bill. And as you guys can see up on screen, the ABC board, or the Alabama Alcoholic Beverage Control Board, is a group which actually controls alcoholic beverages through distribution, licensing, and enforcement. The board operates a chain of retail stores and sells the majority of alcohol. Now in our previous episodes, we've touched on instances where places like Pennsylvania want a state-run model which is also tied to liquor stores. So basically, you gotta go to the liquor store to get your flour. A lot of people don't like that. And here in Alabama, what they're trying to do is ensure that the ABC board, which controls the alcoholic beverages in Alabama, will also be controlling the good herb. Now just a quick reminder guys, if you're getting value from this video, please do like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And if you want to support us further, join the ICANN VIP Bean Club or just buy us a cup of coffee. Now there are a lot of people over in Alabama that should be wary and a little bit cautious of a government agency such as the Alabama Alcoholic Beverage Control Board controlling things, especially when it comes to the good herb, because Alabama already has passed medical laws, but there's a little bit of an issue with that, and we'll get into that in a bit. But let's first hear what hemp businesses in Alabama have to say about this new bill.
Serving sizes would be limited to 10 milligrams of THC, all regulated by the ABC board. But some business owners are calling that regulation a burden. Carmelo Parcelides, the owner of Green Acres Organic Farms in Florence, he says the bill will eliminate almost all of the products they offer.
It puts honest, community-focused business at risk. And we've done everything right. We've followed the rules. We've tested every product. We've, created our Compassion Cancer program.
Parcelidi urges Governor Kay Ivey to veto the bill.
Last week was Small Business Awareness Week. We're a small business, and this, you have a way to save our business by vetoing this. So please do.
While some enjoy these products for recreational reasons, for others, it's a much deeper reason. But tender Wayne Huggins enjoys hearing the different testimonies.
You'll have the grandma that she might have arthritis, and now she's getting some relief in her hands, and she's picking up knitting, or she's hanging out with the grandkids, and she's actually able to be present in everyday activity.
So just from those two quick clips, you guys can see it's not just the business owners that'll be affected, but also the grannies that come in for arthritis. There are a lot of people that use these products for medicinal purposes, and a lot of those people will no longer be able to get their products, or it'll become so much more difficult for them to get it. They may have to cross state lines, and that's not always ideal.
Governor Kay Ivey is expected to sign HB 445 into law, which would put higher restrictions on hemp products. However, the owners here at the Green Lady Dispensary tell me that this could have a huge impact on their business.
It's liable to close our doors as well.
Owner Jason Paul says the majority of products on his shelves would no longer meet state requirements.
All of our products do not follow in those guidelines.
He says the typical hemp product in his store contains between 200 to 1,000 milligrams of THC per package, with a varying number of servings. This particular product has 200 total milligrams split into 10 servings.
What they're asking us to do is put individually wrapped gummies at 10 milligrams. There's not even a supply company in the United States right now that does that.
Charlie DeSalle with CNR Hemp Company says it will take time and money to change equipment and processes before that deadline.
I've already been looking at equipment. It's going to cost probably $10,000 for the piece of equipment I need to do that efficiently.
Pauls and DeSalle say they agree with removing unregulated products out of convenience stores and ensuring high-quality third-party testing standards, but that they wish Alabama lawmakers would have taken more time to better understand the industry before passing HB 445. They're asking Governor Ivey to veto it.
Hopefully she hears this and understands that this bill needs more time to be discussed before we put it into law and kind of wreck a lot of businesses.
So you guys can already see a running theme. A lot of people are calling for the governor to veto this bill. And that's exactly what this article focuses on, as it's titled Alabama Governor Faces Contrasting Calls to Sign or Veto Hemp Regulation Bill on Her Desk. Now I want to run through the key provisions of this bill with you guys. Under this bill, there will be testing and label requirements for all consumable hemp products. There will be caps of 10 milligrams per individually wrapped product with a cap of 40 milligrams per package. Anyone who wants to operate in this industry will have to get authorization from the Alcohol Beverage Control Board in order to get a license to be a retailer of these products. There will be restrictions on retail establishments selling hemp products, so no more gas stations, convenience stores, none of that stuff. Also, there's a prohibition of sales to minors, a prohibition of smokable hemp products, and restrictions of online sales and direct delivery, and also an imposition of an excise tax on consumable hemp products. Now, the bill also defines consumable hemp product very broadly as any finished product intended for human or animal consumption that contains any part of the hemp plant or its derivatives. So this bill is not looking good. And if you're operating in that industry, you could become a felon literally overnight.
Jennifer Boozer, an advocate of CBD and hemp products, has owned this store for years, selling hemp-derived products that have been legal in Alabama. But if House Bill 445 becomes law and Jennifer continues to sell those same products,
well, I become a felon.
The bill is the legislature's latest attempt to regulate the manufacturing and sale of CBD products that many legislators feel are sold and consumed with little oversight. And they want the ABC board to be the industry watchdog while limiting the product's forms and potency. And while previous bills failed, this latest has made it to the governor's desk. She has only a few days to sign it. If she does, the future of hundreds of stores and their employees will be in question, making most products already on the shelves illegal. And any smokable product would no longer be allowed. If it becomes law, portions of the bill would go into effect as early as July. And though the bill includes additional state tax revenue on what products remain, Boozer believes the state will lose out on income already coming in because she believes most of the CBD stores open now will have to close.
So most of the stores that are open right now will have to close. That's hundreds of stores out of business, thousands of employees out of business. It's just a big problem. And that's why a lot of people took to the streets to actually protest against this bill and asked the governor to veto it.
These protesters are desperate to stop a bill that would completely reshape the hemp industry in Alabama. HB 445 is a stroke of the governor's pen away from being law.
Please, Governor Ivey, listen to the people of Alabama. They are speaking to you. They are begging and pleading.
The bill bans any hemp-derived product unless it is consumable. That means no smoking or vape products. The goods that are available would need to contain 10 milligrams of THC per serving. The ABC board would license businesses and enforce compliance.
There's been rumors by some of the legislators about children having access to some of these products, but we've asked for the quantitative data on that or just some documentation to show us that that really happened, and they have not replied to any of our emails.
The owner of the CBD place in Montgomery is extremely concerned with the bill banning smokable THC. He says that accounts for up to 75% of his business.
I might have to close down and open a bar because the poison that is alcohol is legal.
They love it.
Whereas the plant that grows naturally out of the ground
Crazy.
is not.
Facts.
For now, he and the dozens of other business owners in Alabama that rely on hemp can do nothing but anxiously wait and prepare to adapt.
And adapt is exactly what they'll have to do because today Governor Kay Ivey signed that bill into law. Have a look.
Governor Kay Ivey has signed a bill into law that authorizes the regulation of hemp products.
We want to get right over to Emma Owen at the Breaking News Desk. Emma, we learned that this bill became law less than an hour ago. How soon will it go into effect?
Well, Sherry and Jarvis, House Bill 445 will take effect on July 1st of this year with full enforcement beginning on January 1st, 2026. Now, as for the specific changes this law will make, I want to break it all down for you now. The law will put strict regulations in place for the sale of products that contain hemp-derived THC. The Alabama Alcoholic Beverage Control Board will regulate all hemp products. This includes Delta 8, Delta 9, and Delta 10.
The governor has also been busy today signing bills into law.
One is aimed at regulating THC
THC products, which are being sold in convenience stores. Supporters say the changes will keep the products out of the hands of children. Opponents believe it could put some stores out of business.
Governor Kay Ivey has now signed House Bill 445 into law, which in part regulates access to consumable hemp products.
Gas stations and convenience stores should be selling Cokes and sodas and chips and drinks, and that's it, and not being your pharmacy.
It also prohibits the sale of smokable hemp products. Alabama Cannabis Coalition founder and president H. Marty Shelper says she isn't surprised the state has stepped into regulating THC products, claiming misinformation led to the bill's passage.
I'm really disappointed.
Shelper says some retailers across the state see more than 70% of their sales come from the hemp flower, which she says is used to treat symptoms of anxiety, depression, and post-traumatic stress disorder.
The citizens who needed access to some relief were able to get these hemp-derived products.
The law is expected to go into effect on July 1 of this year.
So I absolutely agree with that assessment, and that's actually something that a lot of you guys mentioned on the channel before. A lot of these lawmakers have no idea what they're making laws on. They've never used this plant, they've never grown the plant, so therefore they have no idea how to make laws on it. And that was super evident from this clip just a few days ago from the Alabama House Health Committee, where the Alabama lawmakers heard testimonies before the vote. Now this stuff is absolutely crazy. You just gotta hear it for yourself.
Something seldom mentioned in the connection between the products sex trafficking and human trafficking. They were given suckers that was laced with this THC and these Delta 8-9 products. A half a serving of this product is equal to 80% proof vodka bottle. I don't know if I should have gloves holding this. I mean, this is bad stuff, and it's being sold to our kids.
So my loved one was a victim of these drugs. My loved one will never be the same. Just one high can cause brain damage, psychosis, and lead and open the door to schizophrenia.
You know, the people I represent, they do the funerals. It's affecting our kids and adults in a major way.
So compared to alcohol, what is the death ratio? Like is
I don't have the death ratio of that, but I'll be more than happy to share the emails and the voicemails that I've got from concerned parents that have had individuals.
I would love to see the numbers.
Now, I'm not saying that psychosis is not a thing, but you guys can hear that there's still straight up misinformation in circulation about this good plant. And personally, that's really disappointing to see. But it was pretty good to see that a lot of people actually stood up for the plant at that very hearing. Check it out.
This is pushed under the false pretense of protecting children, yet this data simply does not support the hysteria. In 2023, Alabama Poison Control reported 235 Delta 8 cases, and these cases represent just 0.018% of Alabama's 1.3 million residents under 21. Most importantly, no deaths have occurred. We trust adults to make informed choices between alcohol and tobacco, substances that are proven to cause millions of deaths annually. Why can't we trust them to choose between alcohol and safer non-lethal hemp-derived cannabinoids?
This session alone, we've seen at least 7 hemp-related bills introduced, and that tells us that this is a complex issue, yet instead of a coordinated approach, we are seeing reactionary proposals that could devastate businesses and eliminate over 10,000 jobs in Alabama.
This unfairly targets federally legal products, punishes licensed hemp growers like myself and processors and retailers who have invested in Alabama's future, costing jobs and reducing economic impact.
Now, what this gentleman raised was a really good point. A lot of these products are hemp products, and at the federal level, they are completely legal. Keep that in mind. Now, I mentioned earlier on in the show Alabama and the fact that they actually have medical herb. They passed medical herb back in 2021, and that law allowed qualified patients to use medical herb in certain conditions. So you may think that's fantastic, there's medical herb out in Alabama. But if you scroll down just a little bit, you can definitely see right here that at the Alabama Medical Cannabis Commission, there are currently no dispensaries in Alabama at this time. And then if you check their website where they got their FAQs, the date when medical herb will be available is uncertain. So they have the laws, but they're dragging their feet on actually issuing licenses and getting a program set up. So they basically don't have a medical program. On paper they do, but in reality they don't. And that has led a lot of families in Alabama who need medical herb to sue the Alabama Medical Cannabis Commission. Check it out.
A new lawsuit filed against the Alabama Medical Cannabis Commission. 6 families say they are fed up. They say their children are suffering because they can't get the medicine that they were promised when the legislature approved medical in 2021. WKRG News 5 sent Catherine Brook to investigate the issue and to break down the holdup.
Parents of children with medical marijuana
Treatable conditions are tired of waiting. A lawsuit filed last week demands the Alabama Medical Cannabis Commission to do its job and create a patient registry.
We don't have a patient registry because we cannot start the program until we have licenses issued, and then the doctors have to be certified by the Alabama Medical Association.
In 2021, Governor Kay Ivey signed the medical cannabis bill for Alabama. The Alabama Medical Cannabis Commission was supposed to establish a patient registry by September 1st, 2022. Director of AMCC, John McMillan, says the commission has been held back by extensive litigation and it must be resolved before medical marijuana can be grown and sold in Alabama. The only two licenses that are still tied up in litigation are the dispensary licenses and the integrated licenses, and that's where the big one is. And it all really kind of boils down to the fact that the legislation only allows the commission to issue 5 integrated licenses, and we had 38 applicants. Meanwhile, manufacturing facilities like Ossity Labs in Foley have been standing by.
We're ready to go. We could be manufacturing these products within weeks of the commission being allowed to do their job. And that's what's so heartbreaking to see, knowing that patients need this medicine.
McMillan hopes patients will finally be able to get on the registry by the end of this year.
That clip is just from a few days ago. That lawsuit is hot off the press. But let me know what you guys think about all that. Do you guys think that Alabama is heading in the right direction with regulation? Or is it just another ploy by the government to, well, be the government? And what do you guys think about medical laws being approved back in 2021 but still having no actual access to any medical out in Alabama? Drop it in the comments and let me know. Now, you may have missed this, but other states are trying to regulate, but in crazy ways. And this one state wants you to buy their flower and no one else's. So have a look at that video because it's coming up right now.